You walk into a Honda dealer with $8,000 and a decision to make. 6 bikes on that floor will give you the feel of a $15,000 machine. And the salesman won't point you to the smartest one. So I will. By the end, you'll know the exact bike I'd ride home. Honda CB300R. Walking into a dealership, pointing at the bike with the sharpest, most expensive-looking design on the floor and finding out it costs less than a decent used commuter car. That's the CB300R. It's part of Honda's Neo Sports Cafe styling family and parked next to a $10,000 European naked bike. Most non-riders honestly couldn't tell you which one costs 3 times more. Under that designer bodywork is a 286cc single-cylinder engine making around 30 horsepower. On paper, nothing exciting. In the real world, this thing weighs about 313 pounds, which means it flicks through city traffic and tight back roads like a bicycle with a motor. You don't muscle it. You think about a corner and you're already in it. For a new rider or a veteran who wants something light to throw around on a Sunday, that featherweight feel is worth more than raw power ever will be. Now, the price. The 2026 CB300R starts at $4,499, and Honda actually dropped that by $650 from the year before. The cheapest new street bike on the market got cheaper. It comes with full LED lighting and a clean LCD dash standard, the kind of kit that used to live on bikes twice this price. Is it perfect? No. The 286cc single runs out of breath above 70 mph, so if your commute is mostly interstate, you'll be wringing its neck. And the seat is firm. Fine for an hour, less fun on a long day. But for the money, honestly, I don't think there's a better-looking way to start riding. Compare it to a Kawasaki Z400, and you're paying noticeably less for styling that turns more heads. This is the bike that proves the whole list's point. Premium looks don't have to cost premium money. But the next one is where the value gets almost unfair. If this breakdown is saving you from a bad dealership decision, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel put these together. Honda CB500 Hornet. Most riders get talked into spending an extra $2,000 they didn't need to. The CB500 Hornet is the bike that makes that mistake obvious. This is Honda's full-size naked street fighter, and the reason it belongs here is simple. It does about 90% of what a $9,000 middleweight naked does for $5,899. That price isn't a typo, and it isn't last year's number. Honda knocked a full $1,000 off the Hornet for 2026, so the same bike that already represented strong value got $1,000 more tempting overnight. The heart of it is a 471 cubic centimeter parallel twin making roughly 47 horsepower. Read that spec on a website and you might shrug. Ride it at 75 miles per hour on the highway and it's a completely different conversation. This engine cruises all day without feeling stressed, pulls cleanly out of corners, and never once feels like a beginner motor. It's the kind of powertrain that makes a 300-mile day feel like a quick errand. Ask anyone who's owned one and they'll tell you the same thing. It's almost impossible to break. What's the catch? The suspension is basic, non-adjustable up front, so if you're a heavier rider or you ride hard, you'll feel the budget in the bumps. And the styling, while sharp, plays it a little safe next to a Yamaha MT-07. Speaking of the MT-07, that's the natural rival here, and the Honda undercuts it by a meaningful margin while giving up very little in real-world riding. Here's something most reviewers gloss over. That 471cc twin isn't unique to the Hornet. Honda built one bulletproof, fully developed engine and dropped it into a whole family of bikes, which is exactly why these machines over-deliver. The engineering cost was paid years ago, so you pocket the savings. Keep that in mind, because 3 more bikes on this list run the same proven heart in completely different bodies. Honda Rebel 500. A buddy of mine swore he'd never own anything but a Harley. Then he sat on a Rebel 500, did the math, and traded his Sportster within the month. 3 months after that, he'd spent a few $100 on bars and a seat and built something that looked like it cost 5 figures. That's the Rebel 500's whole magic. It's less a finished motorcycle and more a blank canvas. The custom and aftermarket world for this bike is enormous, And that's why the forums are full of riders who switched from American Iron specifically to stop pouring money into one. Mechanically, it shares that same 471 cubic centimeters twin and roughly 47 horsepower, but here it's tuned for low-end pull, which suits the relaxed cruiser stance. The seat height is genuinely low, and easy flat-foot confidence at every stoplight. And for 2026, ABS is standard across every Rebel 500. Price sits right around $6,500, and for that you're getting a cruiser that's light, endlessly customizable, and dead reliable. The honest downside? It's a small displacement cruiser, so two-up touring with luggage on the highway asks a lot of it. And the stock seat is built for looks more than 4-hour comfort. But against a Harley Nightster that costs roughly double, the value gap is almost comical. You could buy the Rebel, fully customize it, and still have thousands left over. This is the one I'd recommend to anyone who wants the cruiser look without the cruiser payment. But if your taste runs faster, the next bike is the one that fooled me. Honda CB500R. I'll be honest, for years I assumed a full-fairing sport bike that actually looked the part started somewhere north of $9,000. The CB500R quietly proved me wrong, and it's the bike that made me rethink how I rank sport bikes worth buying. From 10 feet away, this thing reads like a baby Fireblade. Aggressive fairings, sharp lines, the whole super sport silhouette. Roll up to a bike night on one and nobody's checking the displacement. Underneath sits the familiar 471 cubic centimeter twin and that honest 47 horsepower, tuned here for a sportier delivery and wrapped in a more committed riding position. What does that translate to on the road? A bike that's thrilling at legal-ish speeds without trying to kill you, which is exactly what most riders actually want. You can lean on it, scratch a knee on a canyon road, and ride home without a wrist cramp or a license you can't keep. For 2026, Honda cut the CBR500R price by $1,000, landing it at $6,399. Sport bike thrills. For roughly half what a true 600cc Supersport demands. The trade-off is real, though. This is a sport bike that looks faster than it is. And that's the point. But a rider expecting 600cc class punch will feel shortchanged in a straight-line drag. The more aggressive seating also gets old in stop-and-go traffic. Stack it against a Kawasaki Ninja 500, and the two are genuinely close rivals. The Honda's edge is build quality and that creamy, do-anything engine character. Would you take the looks and comfort balance or chase raw speed? Drop your pick in the comments. I read them. And subscribe if you want more honest motorcycle breakdowns like this, because the next bike is the one that flat out steals adventure bike money. Honda NX500. Forget specs for a second. Imagine pointing a bike at a gravel forest road on a Saturday, then commuting on it Monday, then loading saddlebags for a 500-mile weekend, all on one machine that cost you under $7,000. That's the NX500, and it's the boldest $15,000 performance claim on this entire list. Here's why. A real big-bore adventure bike, Honda's own Africa Twin, starts at $15,199. The NX500 does a genuine 80% of that job. Comfortable upright ergonomics, a taller stance, a longer wheelbase for highway stability, and a bigger fuel tank for real range. It's built around the same trustworthy 471 cubic centimeters twin, but the chassis is tuned for the long haul instead of the quick blast. On the highway, it tracks straight and calm, and on a rough back road, it shrugs off pavement that would have a sport bike's teeth rattling. The 2026 NX500 starts at $6,899, about $1,000 more than the Hornet, and worth every dollar if your idea of fun involves a map and no fixed plan. It's not a hardcore off-roader, to be clear. The suspension travel and the 17-inch front wheel mean serious trails are off the table. This is a light dirt and long pavement machine, not a dirt bike. And at highway speed, fully loaded, you'll occasionally wish for more grunt. But measured against a $13,000 plus mid-size adventure rig from the European brands, the NX500 delivers the same spirit of go-anywhere freedom for a fraction of the outlay. There's a reason owners hang on to these. Used examples barely depreciate. One bike left? It's the one that almost didn't make the cut, And the reason why says everything about value. Quick one. If you've ridden any of these, let me know which in the comments. It genuinely shapes what I cover next. Honda SCL 500. Compared to everything else here, the SCL 500 makes the least rational sense. And that's exactly why it earned its spot. Every other bike on this list wins on cold numbers. This one wins on character, and character is the thing people overpay thousands for. It's a scrambler. Retro tank, upright bars, that desert sled silhouette that's been quietly fashionable for a decade. The look it's chasing is the same one Triumph sells in its Scrambler 400 and 900 lines, and a Triumph Scrambler 900 runs well over 12 grand. The SCL 500, it starts at $6,999. Under the throwback bodywork is, you guessed it, that same dependable 471cc twin and around 47 horsepower, with engine components positioned low and central for an easy planted feel. It's not built to win races. It's built to make a Tuesday evening ride feel like an escape and to look fantastic parked outside a coffee shop while it does it. ABS and LED lighting come standard, plus an LCD display with gear position and fuel readout. The weaknesses are honest ones. Despite the rugged styling, it's no more capable off-road than the NX500. Those are street tires on a street chassis, so Scrambler here is mostly a vibe, not a trail weapon. And it's $6,999. It's the priciest of Honda's 500 twins, so you're paying a small premium purely for the aesthetic. I'd argue that premium is fair because style this distinctive usually costs 4 figures more from anyone else. If you've ever stood in a Triumph showroom doing mental math you couldn't make work, the SCL 500 is the bike that ends that argument. So, 6 Hondas, everyone under $8,000, everyone punching at a price class well above its sticker. The trick was never magic. It's one proven engine spread across a whole family, plus a year where Honda cut prices while the rest of the market raised them. If I had to put my own money down on exactly one, it's the CB500 Hornet. At $5,899, it does the most things well for the least money, and it's the bike I'd never feel limited by. The CB300R is the smarter buy for a brand new rider, and the NX500 is the one I'd grab if freedom mattered more than commuting. But that's my garage. I want to know about yours. Which of these 6 would you actually buy with your own cash, and what would you pass on? Tell me below. And if you want the next breakdown like this, you know where the subscribe button is.